Hi, welcome to the fourth week of the Director's Spotlight here at ASU. It is September 23rd today, by the time you see this. And today we're talking with Abraham Ntonya, who is a theater student here, but who's actually done, for at least the last year, done most of his work on student films in the Film and Media Production Student Capstone projects. In addition, Abraham is an international student from Malawi, so we're going to talk to Abraham today about both the experience of working on student films and also what it's like to come to ASU as an international student and what pitfalls and what advices you would have for someone in a similar situation. Abraham, thank you so much for being here today.
Pleasure to be here.
Really appreciate it. So, you have been the most prolific actor, I think, in general across the School of Theater and Film, both in theater main stage and on the student films. But you've been, I think most importantly, you've been one of the few people to truly cross that boundary. I think you and Lee Hansen were the two that really did the best job of that last year in particular. Can you talk about how you got involved in student films and got connected to Evan Sarosky and all those guys and started making those movies?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here as well. How did I get started? Well, I think my freshman year, which was 2008, August of 2008, this film program had the general auditions, where you go and you stand in. They have a camera looking right at you, and you do a monologue, and those monologues are kept into. At the time, they had files where they'll keep them for students who are looking for actors for their little projects, classroom projects, etc. So they knew what talent they had to their disposal. And through that, I was able to work on my first film with Nick Ramirez, titled "Beautiful Addiction."
I remember that one. And
that was my very first time actually acting on in front of a camera. And well, through that, the fact that that film was actually so well done. In fact, it won the best overall student film in 2009 at the Student Film Festival, and it came second place in the AFA 2009. Film festival, so it got a lot of exposure that way, being able. Another time, Nick Ramirez was considered one of the top students, so his film actually is now being used as an example of what a good student film looks like in terms of its cinematography and editing and how it flows very well. So that was tossed around the department,
right?
And I guess my face was seen. And a lot of people liked what I did, and from there, people would send emails and say, "Hey, I saw you in this. We'd really like you to come and act in this." And from there, it just picked up, and it hasn't stopped since.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Now, what were the challenges for you in that? Were there things you advice you'd want to give to young actors in the program or students coming in about how to balance film activity with your classes or what things to look for and the ways to get best involved as quickly as possible?
Quickly as possible. Well, I guess at this early stage when you're still developing yourself as an artist, to be picky, to be too picky, might hurt you.
That's true.
Because you really don't know.
Yeah.
I know I'm still working on my craft, so I've still got a lot of work to do. But the only way I can figure out what areas I'm best suited for, I need to try as much as I can. So first advice would be audition, audition, audition. Try out as much as you can. And then from there, you start to work on different projects. Like there was a time when everybody wanted to make zombie films or things that were related to zombies and raising the dead. And so you want to find out, can I be a good zombie actor? Can I do this? Is this my style? In this case, though, I was playing a very happy drug dealer for some reason, of course, that came with its own challenges. Trying to be convincing. I'm normally considered a very happy and easygoing guy, but to play this character of the underworld who deals drugs, it was a challenge for me.
Sure.
So you want to know, is that a character that I can pull off convincingly? And I think I did a pretty decent job, because it's got me more work after that. So just keep trying and don't be afraid to fail, and make a network. I'd say the more you do stuff, the more you're able to network with more people, and that way you can get more work.
Yeah, I tell my students that The hardest skill to learn when you're a professional is learning how to say no.
Right.
But that's not a skill you should learn until you're a professional. Like,
Exactly.
saying no to things when you're in school is not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say yes to every possible thing you can.
Absolutely.
It's turning down opportunities is tantamount to turning down whole avenues of life
That's right.
of life development. So
And this is a learning environment too. So don't be afraid to fail. Once you get out into the real world where people are not as easygoing, they expect you to already know stuff when you start auditioning for professional films. It's no real time to experiment unless, of course, you're already well-established character or actor in the industry, and people know that your experimental work is what made you famous or well-known.
Right.
But then as a beginning actor, you can't really try and see if you can make it in the big world. While you're here, use this learning environment to make mistakes, to explore. So once you get out there, at least you've said, okay, I've got some experience from student films, which are really helpful. I can use that knowledge, and because they try to imitate exactly what it's like in the industry, and that's how good the film program is. They have good equipment, they have good students, they have good professors. So they try to make it as realistic as possible, and they treat the actors with the same respect you would expect on a professional set. So you will get that knowledge, but you can only know that if you try.
Right.
So don't be afraid to.
and you're going to come out of here actually because of how I think one of the things our film program has started doing very, very well is doing extremely professional looking films.
Yes.
The stuff that's coming out of our film program right now looks as good as studio work in many cases. And you're going to come out of here with a reel that is amazing.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're going to have snapshots of yourself that look like you've been starring in studio films for the past 4 years.
Yes.
So I think that's a great advantage for you as an actor.
It is.
Actually, which transitions it. What are your hopes when you graduate? Which is this year, right? You graduated in May?
I graduated May 2012. Yeah. It seems like
scary.
Yeah, it's scary. The real world is now right upon me, and I guess it depends on how my success as an actor goes after. I'm 23 now. I'll be 24 by the end of this year, and I know I'm still young. I consider myself still young, but then I feel like I want to go out and start practicing my craft now. So if I don't go directly into grad school, I hope to stick around in Phoenix, maybe try out some opportunities there, because I've made some good friends within the area who want to work with me.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll definitely be around after I graduate. If not, then I'd like to follow some of my other friends who have traveled to West Coast, go to LA, California, and see if I can continue film acting there and stage acting too. Whichever one comes at this stage, like I say, can't be too picky. Whichever one goes, you go with it until you're able to decide, okay, this is what I want to do. And you actually have the power to make that choice, because it is a tricky industry.
Yes, it is. Notoriously so.
It is.
So let's talk about for a second. You came into ASU with a perspective much different than the vast majority of our students in terms of international student status. Has that presented any particular challenges for you, or made you have a different perspective on your education here than you think your peers might have?
I think to a certain degree it has, because coming here to America, from the beginning there was a time where I would just say it because it sounded nice, and I wasn't even thinking that one day I'll actually be in the USA studying to become a professional actor. It was just something you think about and you just imagine it. And then as the years went by and I started getting older, and sudden opportunities closed in one area, which opened doors for this trip, you started realizing that this dream is actually coming real. And people back home, my family in particular, and close friends who know that I have a huge passion for acting, are rooting for me, and they expect me to be successful because they know that I have the ability to be. So I came here with that mindset. Oh, is it still going?
Yeah, it's still recording. Just one moment. Technical difficulties.
Sure. It happens. It happens.
There we go. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah.
They're rooting for you.
They're rooting for me. So knowing that I was coming here with understanding that I cannot fail, because not only will I be letting myself down, bearing in mind that it is very expensive to come over here, especially over the years things have increased in prices. So people are making huge sacrifices for me back home to make sure that I get the best education that I possibly can. And so knowing that I've come here with a mission to succeed with my degree, and to take that a step further and actually use my degree in the field that I've trained for the past 4 years once I graduate. And to them, they see that you can only be successful as an actor, because acting in back where I'm from is considered a hobby, a pastime.
Sure.
It's not really a career that one would settle on and would be something he would raise his family with, or So when they see a successful actor, they're just thinking Hollywood.
Right.
See you on the big screen, winning the Oscar, making Denzel Washington or other like Will Smith, make them run for their money. That's what they want to see, and that's the only. When they see that, that's when they know, okay, you've made it. Anything other than that is not a success story to them.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
So knowing that, and myself too, it was a dream. Like I mentioned, it was a dream. It was just something I'd say that maybe one day, and the opportunity is here. And LA was so many miles away. Now it's a 6-hour drive from where I am, and you couldn't have asked for anything better. So you come here knowing that you've got to focus. You got to buckle down and get that education, get your papers, and take advantage of a system that's being developed to assist you in becoming a better person all around, not just even in your field, a better person in general. Because this system, this education here it's well rounded, and it makes you grow as a person. So you just take advantage of that, and hopefully with determination you make it.
Thank you so much, Abraham. I really appreciate you coming in and giving us that perspective. I know that you're going to be hugely successful and be flying out people to the Oscar ceremony sometime.
Oh, absolutely. I don't plan on doing anything less. Yes. No pressure.
Thank you all for tuning in again this week. Clicking on the link again this week. We'll see you next week, where we're not quite sure who we're going to be interviewing yet, but we might have a very exciting remote opportunity to interview a student doing a professional internship at what I think you'll consider a very exciting location. So please check back in next week, and in the meantime, thank you.